Welcome to the 21st episode of the Illegal Use of Hands to the Face Football Podcast. How you doing, Jake?
I'm doing great, Hayden. How are you?
Tremendous, as per usual. Quarterback's most important position on the field. I don't know. Any thoughts on just the grouping as a whole?
Um, Zach Wilson is grossly overrated.
Oh,
Uh,
well, that's not the grouping as a whole. That's not a fair
uh,
comment to
I
my
love,
question.
I do love the group as a whole. I love the group as a whole. I think it's a decent class. The first, I think, six guys are pretty good. I don't count Zach Wilson in my top six.
The
So,
I think that the I was pretty disappointed. Usually I like to look for the guy that is, the underdog, find some quarterback that's down there lower in the tiers that I can just be really stupidly overhyped about. And honestly, there was none this year.
mm,
I mean, none that I just want to like argue could be a first round pick, even though he's like ranked as a seventh round pick. Nothing that crazy, nothing that interesting.
yeah,
You got
yeah.
some news for us, or another
Yes.
comment?
No, I was just gonna say that I think the rankings that they have now are kind of right-ish. Like they're in the right area where they should be. Just besides,
That one guy.
yeah, that one guy. All right. First up in NFL news, the Cincinnati Bengals released new uniforms today. With Chad Johnson, aka Ocho Cinco, modeling for them in their hype video. So that was nice to see.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that video, and I was like, that's pretty interesting. You go with Chad Johnson, just like not like a modern player to like be the first guy you see in the hype video for like the modern team, but go with somebody else because it's like geez, we weren't that good yet last year, and then it was like finally right at the end we'll show off our star prize in Joseph Burrow. And no, yeah, I liked how they looked though. I think they looked pretty
Hmm.
cool. And I I I don't know. The only thing that I'm thinking about when I'm looking at them is how the helmet hasn't changed and the helmet won't change. I mean, it's it's kind of cool to have one part of the uniform that's kind of got a little bit of a tradition because it wasn't always the striped, but I'm guessing that they're going to want to keep that for a fairly decent amount of time. And
Hmm.
I don't know how you change that really without changing like the entire look of the entire uniform. Um, I do like that the look that almost looks like their color rush now. That like white jersey that they have actually has a little bit more of some elements of orange in it. However, if the NFL gets rid of that one helmet rule, here's another option that would look pretty wild is if we went with like a whiteout Bengals look
Hmm.
and then we went those helmets
Yeah.
the orange stripes were white stripes on the helmets instead of orange. Those could look pretty sweet with the old color rush jersey, so it's like almost no orange showing on those jerseys at all, just white and black, but still that like I guess like tiger Bengal look pattern to it.
Yeah, I agree. I really like everyone was saying that they couldn't see a difference in it. I think there's an obvious difference in it. They
Yeah,
look a
there
lot
are.
cleaner. They look a lot cleaner.
Yeah, they
Uh
do.
I do like that they brought Ocho Cinco in for it, mainly because I really think they wanted to get someone smoking a cigar with the uniforms on.
He
Like,
was the
we
only one
can't,
who would do it.
we
You can't
can't, we
have an
can't have
active player.
we can't have a current player doing that. So yeah, let's bring him in.
That's
So
true. That's true. You're right on the money there. What else we got since
and
Friday?
the last little piece of news really is Alex Smith announced his retirement today.
That's it. That's what I was thinking of. I couldn't remember it, but woke up to see that, and honestly, I'm kind of saddened by that because that's literally just because of the fact that no team will give him a contract. He's not retired because he wants to be done because he came back to play last season and based off his
Hmm.
comments before he wanted to play again this season. So I don't think he wanted to be done, but just that he had to be because no one was willing to give him a new contract. I mean, it's a very scary proposition though. So I kind of understand. I would have a hard time as a GM giving him any amount of money to come to my team
Yeah.
just because if he ever actually ended up on the field and got hurt, I would feel terrible. So
Yeah.
I kind of understand that, but oh man, it just sucks.
He's gonna go down as one of the most unlucky players in NFL history, probably.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what happens to people when they're unlucky? They just become forgotten.
Yeah.
That's really what's gonna happen. He's just gonna become pretty much forgotten.
Yeah,
It's that's even worse to say, but I mean that's how it's gonna go. So tough, tough stuff.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it really sucks. I really thought when the football team cut him, he was gonna reunite with Urban Meyer in Jacksonville because Urban was his college
Utah.
coach. Yeah. So I was like, oh, he's gonna back up Trevor Lawrence. It's gonna be great. And then they signed C.J. Beathard. So those two will forever be linked now. And now I have a hatred for C.J.
You're
Beathard
talking
that I
about
did not
C.J.
have.
Beathard and Urban Meyer, forever linked. The biggest signing in NFL history, C.J. Beathard to the Jags, 2021 offseason.
It ended Alex Smith's career.
Oh boy. That's the storyline I want to be talking about all off season. Man,
C.J. Beathard single-handedly ending NFL careers.
I feel like I've only got memories of that guy throwing picks, so it's kind of inconvenient that he's the one ending careers. If anything, he should
Yeah.
be helping produce defensive back careers or something.
Well, maybe that's why Urban brought him down to Jacksonville.
Really get
We
the
we need to we
DB
need to give the
room.
rookies some confidence. Start chucking some picks out
Oh
there.
my gosh, yeah, that's the reasoning. Uh, you ready for these top 10 quarterbacks in the 2021 NFL draft?
Yeah, a lot of weeks in the making for us to get to this point right here. So,
Yes, sir.
very excited to see where you got them ranked.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you start us off?
Okay, my two guys that just for the 12 guys that I looked at to come up with my top 10, the two guys that were trash that didn't bother to make it, Jamie Newman, Felipe Franks. Jamie Newman just chucks a bunch of deep balls and runs, quarterback draws, and that wasn't enough to get me on his bandwagon. Felipe Franks, one interesting thing is like I'm not like interested in any of his talents except for the fact that he looks off defenders pretty well. It seems like he was kind of good at that, so
Yes,
I'll give him credit for that.
he has the best look off shimmy out of anyone in the draft. He got so many guys open with that move.
Just like
I was impressed.
nobody's near anyone. That
Someone's
was
going to draft him purely because of that.
yeah, yeah, no. Just outside the top 10 though. My first guy from Stanford. I didn't know this guy existed. He's like he's the only guy other than Mac Jones really that is just kind of a pocket passer. I mean, there were still a few times he ran, but I mean he's mostly a pocket passer. Unlike all the other guys, it seems like they're pretty mobile. Just him and Mac Jones really that feel more suited towards the pocket passing style. And this is Davis Mills. It's just it got average arm strength, and he seemingly always goes to number 13 for Stanford. Who's got the funky looking hair. Kind of like it. He looks good with that flowing out of the back of his helmet. It's not even like your normal like dreadlock look or your normal just long hair. It's like curly long hair. It's really different. It's not something that we see often in the NFL. Especially it's almost like red or brownish. So honestly, I'll praise him more than the quarterback himself because he was my favorite part of watching Davis Mills as the receiver.
Yeah, I have Davis Mills at 10 as well. His balls look so slow when he throws them. It looks like they're coming out in slow motion. All of his highlight plays were to 13 or when JJ Arcega-Whiteside was there. So if he goes to the team that drafts Kyle Pitts and moves him to wide receiver, he's going to be awesome because he's going to have a tall jump ball guy that he could just throw 3-mile-an-hour floaters up to.
Oh,
So,
he wasn't the guy I picked out for the jump ball specialist, but
oh no, I'm just saying that all of his touchdowns were to guys that were like 6'4" or taller.
oh
So
yeah, it was 13 tall.
yeah.
I didn't even realize he was tall.
Yeah,
Dang.
I didn't.
I
I
was
don't know
just
his
so
name. I just know in the broadcast when I listen, it's like all 6'5" of them going up and getting it.
I was just so entranced by the hair I couldn't pay attention to anything else. I mean,
Yeah,
there was no way Mills was getting any higher because even if he was playing like god tier, I mean, I
I
couldn't
wasn't
pay.
watching him.
Wasn't yeah, I wasn't watching.
My eyes were on 13.
Uh okay, so that's both of our number 10. So I guess we're already on to number 9, correct?
Yes.
I got at 9. I don't know. This may be a little low for some people, but I got Kellen Mond, and if I could find where I wrote his name down, because it should be written down somewhere. What? Oh, I didn't put an X next to his name. That's my fault. But he's out of Texas A&M. His shoulders look really big. It's weird. Just looks like he's got heavy shoulders for a quarterback. Um, I don't know. Kind of built a little funny, like top heavy, like really top heavy, like up here heavy, and then like works its way down. Yeah, he's solid. He's got solid athleticism. His arm isn't anything crazy, but he's fairly accurate, and that's kind of it. He's kind of like the guy in the quarterback groupings where it was like talked about this at a few other positions. He's just like kind of average all around, and it's kind of like you're not getting anything special here. It's just a bunch of yeah, he can do a little bit of everything, and nothing really flashed to me. I didn't fall in love there at all.
Okay. He's on my list later, so I'll get to him later. At 9 for me, I have Sam Ellinger out of Texas. Uh, he's the one thing that I could think of when I was watching him is he is a gunslinger. He's just going out there and chucking the ball around. Very, very tough. There are a couple times where he's extending plays and just gets drilled after them, but he makes the completion and gets his team touchdown. So he could be a solid backup. I think he's like if you need a guy to come in there and will a team to victory, he's gonna be a guy that could come off the bench and do it. Yeah, he has I said has a ton of highlight plays, but gets rocked doing them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like him. I do like him a little bit more than you.
mm,
My number 8 guy is Shane Buechele from SMU.
yeah.
If that's how you want to pronounce.
Bouchel.
No, I like Buechele. That sounds fancier to
Well,
me.
his last name's Bouchel.
Buechele sounds fancier though, does it not? Does it sound fancier?
I think Bouchel sounds fancier.
Whatever. Would Michael Bublé sound cooler if it was Michael Bublé? Bublé?
Depends on who you ask.
Wait, no. It already is Michael. Wait. Oh, jeez.
Michael Bublé. Yeah.
No. So wait, wait, hold on.
Would
Now
Michael
I'm thinking.
Bublé sound better if it was Michael Bublé?
Yeah, that's yeah, everybody does call him Bublé already. Yeah, so Buechele is right. Just based off Michael Bublé's name, Buechele
So
is
the
correct.
extra E makes it fancy then at that
Yes,
point.
yes, it does. It does. Okay, now that that's out of the way, really happy. I think he's got like top 3 ball velocities out of all these quarterbacks I saw. Well, only 2 other guys that I really thought threw like a faster ball than him. So I liked that. And then made a variety of throws, including like cross body throws, which were pretty challenging, and solid ball location too. It's just yeah, SMU. I not this wasn't a competition thing. I mean, it probably helped that he wasn't playing amazing competition all the time. They actually had I think they had some decent opponents that they were playing though. No, what I really meant though is like he's kind of all over the place, like mechanically stuff. That's kind of why he's ranking a little bit lower, and he's nothing off the charts. But I do have to say that at least unlike Kellen Mond, he has like one trait that I can point to, which is ball velocity, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I have him just outside of my top 10 at 11, and that's mainly the competition he played against at SMU, and also I have his number one target as tight end. At my I think number 2 or 3 ranked tight end. So he's got the weapons too.
Oh.
Uh,
Mm.
I took that into evaluation, and also yeah, like you said, he's kind of all over the place. When it comes to he's got top tier ball velocity,
Well, I mean,
but his
listen, if Zach Wilson's in your top 10, then Shane Buechele should be in your top 10.
Shane Buechele was in my top 10, and then I put Zach Wilson in my top 10,
Ah,
and then
that's
that bumped him
garbage.
down.
You're screwing around. You could have cut Davis Mills out of there. I mean, come on. Who really
But,
needs?
but then we wouldn't have had that great starting point where you and I both agree for the first time at number 10.
Is that true? Have we not? Yeah, fact check that later. Whatever.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah. Just competition in his he's got top tier ball. I'm trying to get back to what I was saying. He's got top tier ball velocity. His placement though is all over the place, so that's why I have him at 11.
Okay.
And now at
8.
8 for me, I've got Zach Wilson. Now,
oh boy.
you and I are probably the biggest Zach Wilson haters in the sports media industry because that's the industry that we're in.
And we sit together. This is very weird. This
and it's not even. We did
isn't
not even
supposed to be
talk about
okay.
Zach Wilson where it's like one of us convinced the other to be a Zach Wilson hater. It's just we both watched his film and we're like, yeah, this guy's not that
I'm just
good.
really nervous that we're both gonna be wrong. Like if one of us is wrong on here, that's okay. But if we're both wrong, that's where it gets scary.
We will
Okay.
probably be the only two wrong people that don't think. I have not seen a single person say that he does not deserve to be drafted in the first round. There are people that say he doesn't deserve to be drafted at 2.
Oh,
the first round as a whole.
I think he's first round.
You do?
Yeah, no, I think he's first round. I don't think.
Ooh, okay.
I don't think he's number 2 overall. But I think
Okay,
he's
so
first
you
round.
and I differ on one person. You and I differ on one person heavily. It's not Zach Wilson. It's another guy.
Okay.
So, yeah, Zach Wilson. First thing I wrote. I was the first to hop on the train, baby. I was the first there. He just doesn't do a lot that it. I shouldn't say impresses me. There's a lot of stuff that makes your eyes bulge, like whoa. But
how did that work?
yeah, and then you see the ball come out, and it's a dead duck, and you see balls that should be picked off that become highlight plays because the ball shoots 15 feet up in the air, and the receiver catches it. Like, wow, what a play from Zach Wilson there. He just looked at that receiver the whole time and then allowed the defensive back to get in there. It's just, he has athleticism, so he will be able to profit off of that. Just being able to run around and make plays. But it just seems like a 8-year-old going to like Pop Warner football and it's like, oh yeah, I watched some Pat Mahomes highlight tape. And let me show you guys what I learned. Yeah. That's just what it seems like.
You know what's funny is I think he could be more successful than Sam Darnold, but I think they're both drastically, like, we're making the assumption here that he does go 2, which he probably will. But they're both going way too high. Way too high. Darnold went way too high. And he's going to go way too high, too. He doesn't deserve to be picked that high. That's not...
No, it's putting a lot of unnecessary pressure on a guy that's not going to be able to produce, like, the number 2 overall pick right away.
Yeah, no,
a lot of people, they're Jets fans and football fans in general, have convinced themselves that Zach Wilson is going to produce, like, a number 2 overall pick. He's not going to. At least not right away. If he does... I will be happy to be wrong because I want to see every single guy succeed. But
I won't be happy
he's
to
going,
be wrong.
He's going to receive a lot of unnecessary hate from a lot of people. And I'm going to feel bad for him because he's going to have Jets fans in his DMs and commenting all over. Oh no, he has comments off. He has comments off on his Instagram posts, so
he
doesn't have to do. Yeah, he does.
Wow.
But he's gonna have Jets fans all in his like DMs and everything, just harassing him. When it's like, yeah, he threw a couple picks because that's his game. His game is run around and make plays.
Threw 6 picks first week of the season. Well, I mean, as long as he doesn't throw a pick 6 on his first play like Darnold did, that
he will already be off to a better start than Sam Darnold if he
Just
does not throw a
don't do
pick
that.
six.
Just I mean, throw like a screen or something.
Or
Just
just chuck one straight in the dirt.
yeah, just run him out of the field and spike the ball.
Yeah.
First and 10, Jets ball at their own 25-yard line, and takes a snap and he spiked it. He clocked it.
And that's Zach Wilson's first official attempt.
That would
All
be
right,
that
number
would be
two.
wonderful.
It's a short field pick six.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, probably. Number 7 for me is Sam Ellinger, from Texas. He's more athletic than I expected, and basically what I'm impressed with him, as opposed to other guys, where it just seems like other guys like constantly airing it out, going down the field. That's how they want to show off. Ellinger's really the only guy that was like consistently working the short game and just finding open guys and like even like beating the blitz quickly to running backs out of the backfield. Just really solid decision making. Nothing. He's similar to Mond in that I wasn't really impressed with anything. I was really surprised actually by how athletic he was. I was not expecting him to be that athletic.
I was too.
Um, but just decision making, he's a step above a lot of these other guys. I mean, even guys in, even maybe one or two guys in the top 5 in terms of decision making. Just doesn't have like elite, like natural talent that the other guys have that are ranked above him.
Uh, yeah, yeah. I was very surprised with how athletic he was and how fast he was. Because when I first like saw his measurables and then saw the picture of him on the thumbnail on YouTube, I was like, oh, it's gonna be another pocket. It's gonna be another Davis Mills, and I was
Yeah,
pleasantly surprised.
don't get many of those nowadays, though. I was excited to
Mhm.
watch Davis Mills,
Yeah,
and then
and we
it
all
was
thought that
terribly
the
boring.
pocket passer. Yeah, we all thought the pocket passer was dying when Breeze and Brady retire. Nah, it's alive and well. There's gonna be a guy that
Just
comes out of
Davis Mills.
Northwestern.
Just
There's gonna be a
Davis
guy that
Mills.
comes out of
Oh my
Northwestern and is a
gosh.
backup and is just statue in the pocket.
Terrible. Who's your number 7?
Number 7 for me, out of Florida, I got Kyle Trask. Uh, he has awesome ball placement. He puts the ball perfectly out of the range of the defense, and you could argue like, oh, Kyle Pitts is making plays, but he is putting the ball right where he knows Kyle Pitts is going to get it at its highest point and as far away from the defensive back as possible. Uh, he's I could have thought of him as less athletic than Ellinger, but he's still athletic. He's making plays, not past the line of scrimmage. He's not running a lot, but he's maneuvering around the pocket, making plays outside of the pocket. Uh, so I like that. Didn't have the strongest arm out of anyone. Didn't put a lot of velocity on his passes, but I didn't see a real big problem with that when everything else he did was so technically sound. Uh, I thought that he did a good job leading his receivers, which you have to do with Kadarius Toney because that dude's a speedster. Um, and a little bit of analysis here. I said, be a great mid-round quarterback to pick up and develop behind Brady in Tampa Bay. So,
Oh.
and last thing I noted,
If
he's
you want to keep the offense exactly the same, I would disagree and say it's Ellinger, but
mm, uh, but he's the master of the Tebow jump pass too. He had a couple of Tebow jump passes in there in his highlight reel.
well,
So
they had to do that because he's at Florida. I mean, if they
like,
don't do that once a season, the fans riot.
yeah,
That's what I heard.
yeah. And then the last thing, just about Florida in general. Florida's uniform combos are so sick. They have some great uniforms.
Yeah.
That's
Speaking of uniforms, Davis Mills, jeez, Stanford's updated uniforms. I'm not a fan of those updated
me
things.
neither.
Those
Me
do
neither.
not look good. Maybe it's just the players who were in them. Like there's just a bunch of
Yeah,
boring
maybe
guys.
it's just that
Well,
pocket
no,
passer.
but number 13 still looks slick.
He
but...
was the only guy that looked clean in it.
6 for me, Kyle Trask. So, thing I said about him is great job using his receivers' heights to their advantage. His placement on basically like jump balls, which is what you said earlier about another guy. I would say that he's honestly arguably the best at it. I mean, Mac Jones is killing it because Mac Jones' ball placement is perfect on nearly every throw he makes. But yeah, Kyle Trask is also mobile. Once again, I don't know. I was just expecting more. Like I'm not used to the concept of like almost all the quarterbacks in the draft being mobile, so I was still kind of surprised by that. And he's big, which helps him. He had an off balance, one-footed corner of the end zone touchdown pass, which was really impressive. I liked that. Then the two knocks I have on him, just that are keeping him outside that top 5 realm. Really, one time, still a highlight, but really weird drop back. Just like not like could have taken your standard like drop steps or whatever and made it look smooth, but he had a really ugly looking drop back on a play that turned into something good. And then I don't really know if this should be a knock, but I think it's worth pointing out because it's obvious when you're at like Alabama or something and you're Mac Jones that, oh yeah, all your receivers are going to be great. But Florida, geez, the weapons they have, they're coming up with some pretty good guys too. He's got a lot of weapons he was using there. Don't know if that made him look any better than he would have anywhere else. It probably helped him out. But and then honestly, just the funny thing about him is you want like kind of a red zone weapon, like size mobility combo, and then like I said, the ball placement on these like high point like fade route or just high point passes in general to tall guys. Really interesting red zone player. Like you could actually draft him and have specific packages for him just to come in to be a red zone quarterback, which is not anything anybody ever considers. But there you go. If you want to be really innovative, draft Trask and do that.
Yeah, he had probably the most red zone highlights out of all the guys. Just it was his ball placement in the red zone and jump ball specifically, like you said, is great. His drop back is really funky though. Out of all the guys, the drop back that I like the most is probably Jamie Newman's. If you remember seeing his, I thought his was pretty clean.
I wasn't paying, that's the type of thing that I have to say I'm not paying attention to most of the time unless
Because
there's
he's all the way,
something.
he's like number 12 on your list that you
No,
saw.
no,
So,
no, 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 no. I mean, any quarterback. I'm just not paying attention to the drop back unless there's something noticeably wrong with it. And that was what happened with Trask, is that there was a
Jamie
problem
Newman's
with it.
Jamie Newman's looks so slick. If you got a minute after this, or people listening, if you got a minute, watch Jamie Newman's highlights just to watch him do drop backs because
Oh,
it's really clean.
wonderful.
Uh, where we at 6? At 6 for me, I got Ian Book out of Notre Dame.
All right.
Uh,
Didn't see him.
he,
I'll tell you that now.
I think you will like him because he is very, very similar to Mac Jones. He is more athletic than Mac Jones. It's just his mechanics are a little bit clunkier than Mac Jones. So if he can get someone to fix his mechanics, he could be a solid starting quarterback. I think I compared him. Yeah, I compared him to Andy Dalton when I was watching it, and that's like people hear Andy Dalton and think that means terrible. Andy Dalton was really, really good for all the times he started in Cincinnati. He can be that kind of guy, like a second round, third round pick that can come out and produce immediately as a starter. Uh, just he's just got some mechanic problems that if you work with an NFL quarterbacks coach, they could probably fix that. Uh, he broke a lot of records at Notre Dame. Um, Yeah, and he slings the ball extremely well for having a fairly weak arm too. Not weak, I shouldn't say weak. It is not very strong, but he slings it.
I just love the I love the idea that you're like second round pick could compete or like could be a solid starting job or quarterback or whatever. That's fine. I'm not going to disagree with you because I didn't see him, and then the website I'm looking at has him 300, which means that even if there was an extra or like 300 plus ranked, which means that even if there was an extra round or an extra 2 rounds, they still wouldn't have him coming off the board in the 9th round.
I think if Denver cannot get their hands on Mac Jones and they want someone to go in and push Drew Lock to try to get the best out of him, he will be the guy that they bring in, or should be the guy that they bring in, because he is leaps and bounds better than Drew Lock in my opinion. Not as good as Mac Jones because Mac Jones is very, very mechanically sound in everything he does. Ian Book is not, but Ian Book does almost everything Mac Jones does well, just as well, with a weaker arm and more athleticism.
Okay,
So,
I'm just realizing now that Kellen Mond is in your top five now, and now I'm like, whoa, right? Because you said he's oh wow, yeah, jeez, surprising to me. Okay, I mean, I guess it shouldn't be terribly because I mean, it's really just dropping Zach Wilson. Yeah, I shouldn't be shocked by that for you. All right, well, Zach Wilson is my number five. So I think he's the one that I have the most notes on. Just saying
oh,
that.
he was the one that I had the most notes on too.
I really hope people aren't just falling in love with the underhand shovel passes. That's a ridiculous concept that I really hope that people aren't like
He had like
overvaluing.
four of those. He had four of those
I
that I
know.
saw.
I know. The throws aren't usually impressive, not nearly as pinpoint as other quarterbacks. The lack of quality competition definitely helped. He should have been picked off a lot more. He needs to set his feet when he can because he doesn't set his feet half the time when he has uh I mean maybe not half the time, but like a quarter of the time he just gets lackadaisical and can set his feet and make a throw to be sure that he's going to make the throw, and he doesn't. I don't like that at all. He's plenty athletic. I'll give him credit for that. His velocity is it's pretty good, but it's not like anything to write home about. I feel like we've got the Patrick Mahomes comparison here, and I don't think his arm strength is on that level. He never really makes a perfect throw. Receivers are always extending their arms or coming back to the ball a lot. It's just all that type of stuff combined. I don't like it. There's too much there that's you have to fix initially to go top two. I mean, I understand the athletic ability and stuff, but I mean, what are we looking at here? We're talking about things that you can't teach. So we're talking about like athletic ability and like arm strength. And I'd say that the things that we're talking about like Patrick Mahomes doesn't have like the Mike Vick, Lamar Jackson type athleticism that is at an elite level, but he does have that arm strength that is at that elite level that makes him crazy. I don't think that Zach Wilson has that elite arm strength that I just don't know what the characteristics of Zach Wilson are that are at the elite level that is making everybody so sold on him. He definitely has a lot of potential, but I mean, he's got a lot of stuff to fix if he wants to be successful in the NFL because there's just too many plays where it's like, dude, if that's an NFL defender, or I mean, heck, even like a high level college defensive back instead of the guy you just threw that pass up against, that's getting intercepted, if not swatted down. And that's bad, along with the fact that he man, I'm sorry. It just not only bad reads like that, but he's not putting the ball on the money every time. Like he creates these plays, he's got a receiver open, and then the play doesn't go as big as it should go because he short arms the ball or puts it out and makes the receiver have to make a diving catch when it should just be an easy over the shoulder continue running catch and or come back to the ball and then end up getting tackled because of what I'm saying. It's not perfectly on the money. So I just think there's a lot to still be desired there. I'm not saying that he's going to be bad. He's still in the top five, and all of these top five guys are really, could be really high level players in the future. But it's just that he's got a lot to work on, whereas the other guys, I don't see them having as much stuff to work on. But I guess I do see more potential in him than you do because you said you're just like completely out on him. I'm not completely out on him. I'm probably not looking at him until like pick 20 though. I don't know.
And
That's really probably
is
where I
it pick
go.
20 because that's where you think he should go, or pick 20 because he's a quarterback?
Uh, because he's a quarterback.
Hmm. Yeah. I It'd be funny if the Bears took him because 20 is the Bears pick.
Well,
So,
you know he's going to, so it doesn't matter.
yeah. Uh yeah, I think Zach Wilson is finally going to be a Zach Wilson isn't even like an athletic freak. Like he's been getting labeled, which
That's exactly what I was trying to drive
is
home is that there's nothing that he doesn't have that off the charts thing that is supposed to be the reason that
mhm,
it is worth the investment in all the other non mechanically sound elements of
yes.
his game.
Yeah, because he's going to be, and it sucks because he's not an athletic freak, but he's going to be the first cautionary tale in the past 4 years of quarterbacks have been drafted because you got Mahomes, and then after him Josh Allen, then after him Kyler Murray, and then after him Justin Herbert. Not that Kyler Murray was really doubted, but you got those guys who their main problem. Not even, I shouldn't include Kyler Murray on that, but I needed a guy that connected all four of them, and he's kind of an athletic freak. But Mahomes, Herbert, and Allen, those three guys, their main problem was they can't process the field well. They don't make good decisions, but they were strong and athletic, and they made plays off of that. Zach Wilson makes plays by running around and chucking the ball up, and his receiver just coming down with it. It it just doesn't translate to the same way that you saw the other three guys make plays. And I think that sucks for him because he's getting that label and he does not deserve it.
To your Kyler Murray point there, you you have that Mahomes, Allen, I guess Herbert, if you want to include him. Still a little ripe there for me, but that arm strength, yeah, insane for those guys. But like I was saying before with the elite athleticism, like yeah, I'd say Kyler Murray's got that elite
Hmm.
athleticism in comparison to Lamar and Vic. So that's his thing. His thing is
Yeah.
that
Yes.
crazy ground game ability,
So
which all
even
those
if
other guys we talked about have. They're just not at the
mhm,
elite level that Kyler's at. And then Kyler complements it with not elite arm strength, but geez, it's just about as close as you can get to elite arm strength. It's like a tick below that. So it's like, yeah, the Kyler thing I'm fine with. It's just that categorizing which element of their game is at that elite level is what's
it's different.
somewhat,
Yeah.
yeah, it's different, but no, Zach Wilson, he's not hitting that elite athleticism in that Kyler, Lamar, Vic range, and he's not hitting that elite arm strength in the Allen or Mahomes range either.
Mhm.
He's not checking
He's
either of those boxes. So I
he
mean, I
he's
don't know what I really need to know what it is that
I
is
think
there.
it's just potential. I think that's what it mainly is. You see that he's making plays against like Coastal Carolina, and you're like, oh well, we need to see how well this could transfer over to the NFL. It just seems
The thing
like
is,
such a
there's still,
dangerous gamble.
yeah, it is, but there still is potential there. It's just
No, I
it's
agree that there is potential there.
it's
It's just
crazy.
going to be really hard to tap.
Yeah, no, it's the element that's so hard to struggle with here is not that the talent doesn't exist. It's that so many people are just already sold that it will
Hmm.
turn out.
Yes.
I don't think it's a guarantee that this turns out at all. I mean, I'd say that this is almost up as a coin flip. Like really,
Hmm.
it's that like I don't know. Like
I
flip
think
the
it.
coin. It may be good. It may be bad. We don't know.
Mhm. It all comes down to what I think it what he helps himself with, because if for the Jets he's running around outside the pocket. The Jets have a good offensive line, even if they like use the draft to build upon it and get more solid guys. They have a solid offensive line. If he runs around outside of the pocket trying to make plays and gets rocked and kills his confidence that way because he's throwing picks and getting killed, he's not helping himself then. The Jets also aren't really helping him with having their best offensive weapon being Jameson Crowder either. So,
I thought you were high on Corey Davis.
oh, I completely forgot that. Yeah. So they
Oh,
got a team full and
I did too, but
they got a
I just
they,
listened to somebody today mention Corey Davis again, so I was like, oh yeah, no, I would have forgot to.
yeah, they got a team full of number 2 receivers and well Denzel Mims and he's unproven. I don't know if that's really the squad that you need because it
Uh,
just you need a I mean, the Jets have a new coaching staff, so they're going to have patience. They're going to have patience.
I
But that just seems to be a trend that is not happening in the NFL anymore of having patience with the guys.
I'll
Just, oh, you didn't pan out before your rookie contract ended, or even in the middle of your rookie contract, you didn't pan out, you're gone.
I'll leave it at this. If there are any of the other four quarterbacks available, still available, and Zach Wilson is my other option, and I need a quarterback, I'm going with any of the other four. That's all that I'm saying because I think the chance that they turn out positively, uh, all four of them is much higher than Zach Wilson's chances of turning out positively.
hmm hmm Okay, so it's my number 5 now.
Yes.
Okay, my number five's Kellen Mond. I know that you're not very high on him. I thought he was. I think there's a step ladder for quarterbacks in this, or at least for three. You got Kellen Mond as the first step. The second step is Trey Lance, and the third step is Justin Fields. That's the step ladder. Progression through all of them. It's like a Pokemon evolution. They're just
Give
evolving.
me the ladder one more time.
Kellen Mond's the first step. Trey Lance is the second step. Justin Fields is the top step.
Okay.
So that's how I viewed it. Multiple times I heard a commenter say that throw is stupid, like in a good way, like it's a stupid good throw, and I feel like that explains a lot of his throws. Are just that throw's stupid. And while when you watch Zach Wilson, you'd hear me say that throw's stupid. Uh,
Cut it off.
so
It's too
yeah,
much. We're done with
yeah,
Zach Wilson.
that, but this throw stupid applies for almost all of his highlight throws. He's a very elusive quarterback. He's finds a way to break tackles all the time. It's really he's like a they run power with him every single time.
That's why
Like he
he's got
doesn't
those
have
big shoulder pads.
yeah. Uh, I found a really funny picture of him in high school. It's him like he's got the football in his hands, but he's like popping it and it's popped and he's got it. So I thought that was really funny. You brought up his huge shoulders too, so that reminded me to say it. Um, he's very clutch. He had a lot of game-winning drives during his time at Texas A&M. Though I did not like that one of the titles for the videos I watched of him was the best Texas A&M quarterback of all time.
Oh my gosh. Screw off. No, get out of here. You wanna talk about like
It's just because of
oh
the records.
jeez.
It's not. It's just because he has like every school quarterback record.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But no, you wanna yeah, oh jeez. I just said that we shouldn't talk about Zach Wilson anymore. But you wanna talk about comparison sakes, like Johnny Manziel. Okay, here we're going Johnny Manziel for Zach Wilson, but we're not gonna get the off the field issues with Johnny Manziel. But still, is that like much of a concept? Is that like much better? Is it like a big improvement to have like Johnny Manziel without the off the field concerns? Because I don't remember it going like terribly well for him in the NFL anyways. And I was a huge Johnny Manziel fan at the time. I mean, prime
Yeah.
childhood years. How could you not be a huge Johnny Manziel fan? I mean, that was the most exciting thing. It was either turn on like not watching a ton of college football, but I mean, if Oregon was playing or Texas A&M was playing around the same time period, it was like I want to watch Mariota, I want to watch Johnny Manziel. Those are the only teams that like I would actually want to turn on college football to watch because those two players were the most exciting players in the country. Zach Wilson may be doing the same thing at college for BYU, but I can tell you what, Manziel was doing it on a bigger stage
Against
and
SEC level
oh
competition.
yeah. and it's the exact same play style, and as we saw with him, it really didn't translate well. And I think that if the Manziel mania were to happen nowadays, I think I would have just as much fun watching it while he was in college. But I think I would be able to understand that, this is
There's no
not
way this
gonna
is
work.
translating to the
This
NFL.
is not gonna work. Like,
Hmm.
and people are just looking over it.
Yeah, so let's get back to Kellen Mond for a little bit, just so I could give him his due justice, and we don't spend 25 minutes just talking about Zach Wilson. Uh, yeah, he's very clutch. He had a lot of game-winning drives. He had like an overtime touchdown from 30 yards out or something like that. I was like, whoa, how'd he get 30 yards out? This is
He
college
he
overtime.
he lost the yards. He lost the
Yeah.
yards so
No,
so
he
that he
didn't.
could gain them back.
Yes, he needed more room to work with. He needed more room to work with. Uh,
More
I did
green
say
grass.
the I would I was debating, dude. I am very very high on him, like way higher than you.
Yeah,
I was I
apparently.
was
Jeez.
I was really debating putting him at 3, but his mechanics are just not great.
3? Isn't he at 5 now? You're putting him ahead
Yeah,
of
he's
two
at
guys? Oh my
yeah,
gosh. I
but his
no.
his mechanics just weren't that solid. Uh yeah, like I said, he's very elusive, excellent runner, but they run like quarterback power with him. So that was really fun to watch him just like break a bunch of tackles and bust off 50-yard runs.
I'm
So,
seriously surprised if you put him there, and you got Jamie Newman, who apparently you said he's the one who has the best like drop back ever.
mhm.
Okay, well, I mean, he runs the ball a lot too, and he's got a great drop back. I mean, he should be like top 5 for you as well. Just using your own logic. It's a great runner, great drop back.
No, 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 no. All of Jamie Newman's touchdown passes went to one guy though. It's
Oh,
the
they
same
did.
thing as
Oh,
Davis
snap.
Mills. It's the same thing as Davis Mills. He threw all of his touchdown passes to 14.
Mm,
So I
okay.
was like, so this is, and then he transferred to Georgia, but you know who didn't transfer to Georgia? 14, so he didn't play for Georgia. He just
Yeah,
opted out of the season. That's
yeah.
100% the reason
That's
why.
why. That's why. Oh my gosh, you can't say that. That's mean. No, really, you shouldn't say that. That's
I love
bad. You're
I
so
love you,
mean.
I love you, Jamie Newman.
Oh my. Are you happy? Have you gotten your piece
Yes,
out on Kellen
I'm
Mond?
happy. I'm happy. I cannot wait for us to talk about the top 4 guys. We might not have them in the same order, but I'll find a way to reroute it back to Zach Wilson every 3 sentences.
Hey, don't say that. We'll try not to. Try. 4 for me is Trey Lance. I don't know if that comes as much a surprise. I don't
No,
think
not for me to you. Not for me to
I
you.
don't think it does. I love some strength at the quarterback position. That makes it fun to watch. I don't really know if it's like actually that much of a desirable trade. It's fun to watch, like I said, but I don't know if it's that desirable. It's got solid legs, obviously. You can definitely move around. I was surprised how many yards I saw he actually ran for in, I think it was the 2019 season, because obviously the 2020 season was cut short. He throws a great deep ball. He's just not. He's kind of lacking a little bit of arm strength here. Just as compared to the other guys. Not like actually like his arm strength is plenty for the NFL level. It's just compared to the 3 guys that are sitting in front of him, it looks like he's a little bit behind them in the arm strength department. Of the top 5 guys, honestly, even including Zach Wilson, I mean, it's probably like the least excitement around him. I used the word polarizing before, but I don't know if that was right, so I changed it to excitement. It's just like kind of a lack of I don't know, real like hype, I guess, to him.
Yeah,
Whereas the other guys compare in terms of how they have it. And then there's still the competition questions, but I mean, he was a national champion, so I mean, how much better can the competition get?
exactly. Exactly. He climbed Olympus. How can it get any better than that?
So I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't. I guess really I don't have a lot to say about him. It's just that it's weird that I wish I had more to say about him, but that's kind of it. It's really just like the one thing is that it's a lot of guys that are getting really open, and it's just wondering how he's gonna be once he's put under more pressure in the NFL with probably harder passes he'll have to make because receivers will be more covered. And then, I mean, also the fact that he'll probably be under a little more duress no matter where he goes. I mean, we'll just assume that the defensive line he's going against will have a little bit more of an impact than the defensive lines that were going against the North Dakota State offensive lines.
Uh, yeah, I have him at 4 as well. So I think I should have just said that sooner so we could mutually talk about him. But uh, yeah, he is my favorite quarterback. Now I talked about Kellen Mond, so you might think it's him. No, Trey Lance is my favorite
I'm
quarterback
really
in the draft.
surprised. I'm really surprised. I knew that he was, so I'm surprised that you're willing to put him at 4.
Uh, it's just tough. He's because I'm just gonna say Mac Jones is my next guy. So between him and Mac Jones, there were Mac Jones is more mechanically sound and has slightly a better arm. Trey Lance has the most snaps under center than any quarterback in this draft. Not that you don't need to spend time working with him on that because he already does it well, and he ran that in his system at North Dakota State. The other guys didn't. The other guys took zero. Mac Jones had 0 snaps under center. So it's that Mac Jones isn't as mobile as Trey Lance. So it's just the big thing, and I think mechanics are a huge thing. Trey Lance, and I do hate that he's not getting a lot of hype because it's, well, Lawrence is going 1, Wilson 2, and then at 3 with the 49ers, it's either going to be Mac Jones or Justin Fields. And yeah, Trey Lance is going to get drafted sometime after that.
Well, I think the general thought is that it will be to Atlanta. I don't know how
Oh,
sold.
I would love it. I would love it if he goes to Atlanta because then he gets to sit behind Matt Ryan, and then
Yeah,
you
but
get
yeah, but I think that's the reason for it is that I don't love the idea of him going to Atlanta. I don't love the idea of picking a quarterback that high and then having him sit. I'm fine with picking a quarterback and then having him sit. I just hate the idea of being like number 4 overall. Yeah, we need to go quarterback. We're so bad that we need to go quarterback, and you know what? We're so bad that I'm just reiterating this word need because it's like, if it's a need, then it should actually be filling a void. It's not filling a void. You have Matt Ryan, so it's really weird to be at number 4 overall drafting a QB and then being like, yeah, you may sit like for even maybe like 4 or 5 seasons. Like you may finish your rookie contract. We'll pick up the 5th-year option, and you still won't be stepping on the field for the first time yet.
yeah, I understand that, but for Atlanta, they don't have in the top where they 4. Yeah, there's not a defensive player that I want to draft with that pick. Now they could trade out.
Are you wait? Rethink that. There's not a defensive player that you want to draft. Not that Atlanta. You said you, so I have to question this. There is not one defensive player that you want to draft at 4.
There's no.
Is that value? Is that value based off knowing where other teams will value them, or where you would value them?
I don't
I
really see the point of taking 4th round prospect J2 Fele with the 4th overall pick.
You don't want to pick. No, no, no. That's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Owosu Koromoa. You don't.
Okay, yes.
But you
I
know, yeah, yes,
don't
you
see.
know,
Yes.
no. But that's why I was asking the question. It's just talent wise, do we
Hmm.
still agree on that?
No, I
Not
completely
positionally.
agree.
I understand. I understand that no
Mhm.
one else is probably gonna pick him until at least the 10th pick, so there would be no reason to pick him at 4.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, I get it.
But
Sorry,
but
just wanted to interject that to make sure
yes.
that we're
No,
still
yeah,
really
I
high
know.
on
I know.
Notre Dame linebacker.
Yeah, Jeremiah Wosu-Koromoa, number 1 on both of our big boards. Uh,
Yes.
just Trey Lance. If they don't have any holes on offense, and I think in the top 4, it's just offensive players. You get at 4, you probably get your pick of Chase, Pitts, or Sewell. At that point, you get fielder's choice there. I don't see the point of doing that. They don't really have a skill position void that they need to fill. Kyle Pitts is more of a receiver than a tight end. I can't really imagine them lining him up in line because I think that's where all their tight ends line up with Hayden Hurst and Levine Toilolo.
I need
Uh,
to really examine their offensive line again to say for sure whether or not I think they would completely pass on a tackle.
Yes, but it's just I I think it's a good value there. You're getting, in my opinion, the most potential out of any quarterback in the draft. He has the most potential out of all of them. You're getting a guy that you don't need to spend a lot of time on right away because he can run plays under center. He was the well, every single quarterback's the leader of their offense, but he ran it North Dakota State's offense really well. And also, he's a big. You said that he threw to a lot of guys that were wide open. That's true, but I think more of it was they the defense has spent so much time game planning Lance and just watching him the entire time that those guys got open because you got defensive backs that are caught staring at him because he's such a weapon.
Okay. I have to go back to a point you made in the mid part of that. Um you say potential. Now, I tried to give you my definition of potential earlier with the Vic, Jackson, Mahomes, Allen comparison. What's your definition of potential? Because those are the things that I think. So I wouldn't say that it's Lance in my terms. What's your definition so I can better
No, your
understand
definition of potential would probably go to Justin Fields
You're
if
right.
I had to guess.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
So Lance potential to me is just to be able to grow into a pro quarterback or to a pro whatever your position is. I don't think it's just one solid ability. Justin Fields has the potential a to be solid in both categories with the Vic and a cannon arm and everything like that, like you said. Uh, but I just think he can be a solid quarterback. I think he has the potential to be better than Matt Ryan, or at least be Matt Ryan, be a more athletic Matt Ryan for the Falcons.
Yeah, you see,
If they draft him.
I still just look at it like who, when we're talking about potential, who has the, I guess, God-given abilities, if that's how you want to phrase it, that you can't teach. So once again, running ability, speed, arm strength, and then what are the abilities that you can teach? So anything mechanically, anything that has to do with making reads on the field, what coverages are, disguises, whatever you have it. So those are basically the two fields that I would say. I'd say basically if you're going potential, if you want to rank these guys in the top 5 based off potential, I would say that it's probably, for me, I'm going Fields, Wilson. Then it's a toss-up between Lance and Jones because I think Jones' arm strength and then obviously Trey Lance's legs are different perspectives. And then I think actually Trevor Lawrence is last in terms of potential.
I don't disagree with you on that.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Does that close out the Trey Lance?
Yeah, and that's how I get us to talk about my favorite quarterback. Same length as Zach Wilson. Look at that. We connected it to Zach Wilson too.
Oh, great. My number 3 quarterback. Tough here. I'm not supposed to say this.
Oh, I know what you're about to say.
I know.
I kind of had an idea where your rankings were gonna fall.
I know. Sorry, Trevor. You're number 3. Yeah. He can run read options, but honestly, his athleticism is nothing special to me. That's my first point.
He has enough to get by. He has enough to get by.
His very slim frame. I saw Devontae Smith. Kind of opposite perspective here. I saw Devontae Smith get hit enough where it was like, yeah, he can take a hit, whatever. I saw Trevor Lawrence like not really get hit terribly aggressively once, and then stand up and like scream at the defender for like some like thinking that the hit was vicious or something. It really wasn't that like bad of a hit on him. And it was just like, dude, if that type of hit's bothering you, like, I'm nervous. And then just the body type too. Like, I see his legs. If they're gonna keep, if whoever picks him and I mean whoever Jacksonville picks him, and he moves around a little too much. I'm a little nervous about injury. I'll be honest. His body doesn't look ridiculously strong. I would actually ask him because it's not like his athleticism is anything crazy out of this world. I would say, okay, Trevor, please actually cool it with running the ball because actually I don't think we would gain much from it, or at least I would have him
We have
sliding.
more to lose. We have more to lose than we have to gain if you
Honestly,
run.
that's what I think. And if you are gonna run, and you want us to still call plays for you to run, I want you getting down like Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is like the safest scrambler in the world. Like he never takes a big hit at all. Like get down as early as soon as possible to make sure that you don't take a hit. If there's some like really lucky opportunity one on one and it's a juke move and there's no way you get blown up, okay. But if there's like two defenders and you're considering like trying to make a move at all, like if there's any chance at all that you're going to take a large shot, just get down immediately. That's the first thing I'd say. So that's like number one thing I don't love about Trevor Lawrence is that he's kind of the only guy whose frame of the top five quarterbacks is kind of nerve wracking to me. I just don't like how slim he is. He's got great touch on the deep ball, but honestly, like all of these top guys, minus Zach Wilson, because of the fact that he's leading guys too far and underthrowing them. All these top four guys for me basically have great touch on a deep ball. So I mean, does it really put him ahead of anybody too much? I mean, not really. He is the pro ready guy, so we'll see what that means. I mean, it's just what everybody else is saying. I don't know how much stock I really want to put into everybody else just saying, just like with Zach Wilson, everybody else is saying Zach Wilson is going to be so special. I don't know how much stock I just want to put into this because, I mean, Trevor Lawrence was actually a name that I knew before he was even out of high school because of how much this guy was the best, like, looking model of a quarterback we could
Best
have.
looking. Best looking
No,
model.
not best looking, not like physically best looking, just like in terms of play style and whatever reads, or I don't know what it was, how he reads the defense or whatever. But honestly, even when I'm watching him in games, I'm not terribly impressed. Um, just I hate his frame and I hate his hair. That's basically it. And I'm not as high. I don't know. He's good, but I still don't get what has everybody saying he is God. He is the greatest of all time before he has even entered the league. I just don't know. And it's been, like I said, since he was coming out of high school, everybody has been saying that. And for what reasons, I really don't know. He's a good player. I don't know if he's that good.
hmm I'll touch on him more when I get to him. Uh, but at three for me, I got Mac Jones, and Mac Jones is really growing on me, man. He's really growing on me. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
he,
Because
I,
I thought he was supposed to be like outside of your top five. I was waiting for you to say something
mhm.
like that and get
Well,
really upset. But he's at
if,
three now for you, so I'm excited to hear this.
before we did this, I went in with the mindset of Zach Wilson is not going to make this list, and Mac Jones is probably going to be eight. And Mac Jones is at three for me. And I don't know if this is just my pride, and I'm like, yeah, I think those Bama receivers suck, so I need to say that Mac Jones is a good quarterback. Uh,
Oh boy!
but
Wow! Now you're making an excuse. You're making wow. This is some really wow. This is like deep philosophical stuff. You're like I said the Bama receivers are bad, so now I have to say the quarterback that I said was bad is good, so that I can
I have to bite the bullet on one thing so
maintain
I
the
can maintain the
position
other. Yeah,
that the wide receivers are bad. Wow. You're
yeah.
really this is thought provoking. You're really finding a whole new level of analysis here.
We're changing the game. We're changing the game. Uh, but Mac Jones has just an awesome pocket presence. It's what's his name? David Mills-esque,
Oh
but
my
10,
gosh, are you
10,
kidding me?
10, 10,
Yes.
10 times better.
That's what I need. That's what I need. I need more NFL draft coverage that actually goes, yeah,
He's more like this
no,
prospect. That's
yeah,
worse than him.
seriously, just not comparisons to current NFL players, comparisons
No,
to
well, it's
worse versions of like, yes, going with
it,
other draft prospects of the same class and saying, oh, he's actually like this guy. It's like I don't know who that guy is. He's worse.
yeah. But his pocket presence, yeah, I'll do one. It's Brady-esque, and I hate using that comparison because everyone's touting him as like the next Tom Brady, and he's gonna go to New England, and Belichick's. It's been if he doesn't get drafted by San Fran, everyone's saying, "Oh well, Belichick's gonna go up there and get him."
He should.
No, I think he should too. It fits perfect mold for what Belichick wants in a quarterback. He's got a great pocket presence. He's got a great arm. He's got a better arm than what Brady has. So strength wise, he puts the ball on the money every single time. Uh, yeah, it just his maneuvering in the pocket and behind the line of scrimmage. It looks like Fitzpatrick. Just Fitzy doesn't take off. He doesn't take off. But when he does, Mac Jones also looks like Ryan Fitzpatrick when he tries to run past the line of scrimmage. He looks goofy. He looks like a 38-year-old man trying to run.
Oh
Uh,
boy.
but like your definition of potential, he's not elite in one thing, but he's very elite when it comes to his arm talent, and he's going to be able to produce and win games because of that. Now, it's really weird because you and I had this conversation probably first, second, third episode of maybe the first when we were talking about Brady and the Super Bowl. It's like, it's going to be really disappointing that we're not going to see a lot of pocket quarterbacks like this around for much
Dude,
longer.
this guy's gonna be the yeah. You're not kidding. He will be the one guy who sticks around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
My
and he's very thick, so he's going to be pretty durable.
Oh,
I
I
love
know.
that picture. I love that picture of
Exactly
him.
what I. That's one of my points for him too. I mean, I'm not scared. Talk about Trevor Lawrence. We're drafting him #1 overall, and I'm like, geez, brittle bones over here. Pick me up a Mac Jones. Give me yourself a Big Mac. I know that thing ain't gonna break down.
Yeah. Yeah. And my last thing for Mac Jones is you can just tell he goes through his reads extremely well. He looks throughout the field, and that Bama offensive line does help him out. It buys him an extra second and a half to do it.
Yeah,
But
playing at the best school in the country usually helps you. I mean,
yeah,
ask Burrow, and I don't think anybody's disappointed in Cincinnati yet.
no. Well, yeah.
Yes,
Sample size is pretty small. Sample size is small still.
Yeah, but they've been happy with what they've gotten so far. I don't think they would be disappointed with what they got so far. I think he
5th overall pick. Ryan Finley. You're talking about Ryan Finley. Sorry.
I'm talking about Burrow's play itself, like before he
No.
got hurt. Like it was
No,
decent.
you're talking about everything after. You're talking about Ryan Finley beating the Steelers.
That was fun too. I mean, I wasn't watching the game because I didn't think it could happen, but yeah, no, totally worth it. #2 for me, the biggest potential prospect, Justin Fields from Ohio State. You know where we're starting off with him. You know the first thing we have to say about him. We said it before. We'll say it again. Best downfield blocking quarterback ever.
Yes.
And perfect ball placement for receivers to get just enough of an advantage over defensive backs on deep balls. I mean, honestly, he's doing that like perfectly. Not just speed running the ball, but actual open field athleticism, which honestly, you got that element of the power to Trey Lance's game. Zach Wilson has that open field like ability to run in the open field, but I think Justin Fields is really the only one of these top 5 groupings that actually has the like moves he can use in the open field. His velocity on the ball is absolutely insane, only behind Mac Jones. However, I will say his arm strength, the two different post routes that he threw, and I can't even remember in which games. I think one of them was against Clemson, but I mean, just those 2 throws, how far down the field the ball got, the angle the ball was on, and the velocity that the ball came out of his hand and maintained that velocity for like the length of the throw, those are just throws that nobody else that we've talked about today, at least in terms of quarterbacks on these lists, can make. I do like Mac Jones' arm. Jeez. I think overall I like Mac Jones' arm more than Justin Fields, but those specific throws, good lord, the potential is insane, and also like I said, the running ability is also insane. He's hitting, he's potentially got both those tiers of that arm strength that's at that near like Mahomes Allen level, not all the way up there, but near it. And then also that speed run game element of Vic, Lamar, Kyler, whatever. Honestly, not comparing, because he's the thing that he adds to this is that similarly to Kyler, really, that insane arm strength, just a tier below Allen and Mahomes. But then the running ability, he really is similar to Kyler in that manner, with like the potential of both those players. The thing that's an upgrade about Fields is that he's, I think, significantly taller than Kyler. Correct? Is he 6'3" or 6'1"? I think he's 6'3".
I think he's six. Yeah, I think he's 6'3".
Yeah, that's a big upgrade. So I mean, if we want to say that he's like him, I really like Justin Fields' potential.
Yeah,
And
he's 6'3".
throwing on the run, very impressive. Even though a lot of these guys are mobile, there wasn't actually as many plays with them throwing on the run in some instances. And ball placement, or sorry, ball arc, not ball placement, but ball arc is always perfect for Justin Fields.
Yeah. And number 2 for me, out of the Clemson University, I have Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence, he has the highest floor out of any of the prospects. He is going to be, what? Why are you making that face for?
I didn't think you would put him
at
two.
1?
I didn't think you would put him at 2.
No. He has the highest floor out of any of the guys. He's going to come in and be immediately a mid-tier NFL quarterback right out of the gate. And if that's all he is for his NFL, if he comes in and does not do anything else, I don't really think he will be considered a bust, because everyone has expectations through the roof for him. But if he was any other guy and he just came in like that and played consistently mid-tier his whole career, it's a good pick. You're getting a decent franchise quarterback. Not at 1. Not at 1. I'm just saying in general, at quarterback.
I gotta be honest. What you're describing to me is Kirk Cousins, and if I'm not satisfied as a Vikings fan.
Well, no, because you've had him for multiple years.
Oh,
if he comes out right, if Kirk Cousins came out right away like Kirk Cousins is now, I think
the Jets. If you put Kirk Cousins on the Jets right now, are Jets fans ecstatic?
They're not last place in the East, so I think they're okay.
Are they still? Wait, no. Actually, think about that. Are they actually not last place in the East? Can you guarantee that? Can you guarantee just because of Kirk Cousins that the Jets are not last in the East?
Can the rest of the team also be Kirk Cousins's?
I think that would make it much worse.
I
think they would lose every game.
No.
Like by a lot.
No, not unless every game's at prime time.
Oh.
Then they'd be
jeez, wow. Kirk Cousins slander. Oh boy, we are really getting off track.
All right, yeah, let me get back to Trevor Lawrence. He's coming in with the highest floor out of all the guys. I did not realize that he is 6'6". He is very tall.
Yeah, that's
John
why
Elway,
he looks so skinny.
John Elway is making every single call he can right now to get the number 1 overall pick. But
good
yeah,
joke.
he's great at leading his receivers. he does everything well, and he plays against really good competition. He played against Pitt 3 times, and he's lived to tell the tale. And you're worried about his durability. He's played against Pitt 3 times, and he's lived to tell the tale.
You're right. Yeah, I shouldn't be able to say that if he's played Pitt 3 times. You're right.
Yeah, those guys would have decapitated him and shaved his hair off
He's
at that
lucky he
point.
only played the 2020 version of Pitt once, though. If he played the
Yes,
2020 version of Pitt 3 times, he would definitely he would not be alive today.
he would be dead. He would be dead. Uh, yeah, he does like everything he does. He does well. Does a great job looking off defensive backs. Maintains a strong pocket presence. Him and Mac Jones are very similar in their pocket presence. He just Trevor Lawrence has the ability to take off, but I completely understand where you're coming from. Where I do not want you to run because if you get hurt, we're done for at that point.
Man,
Uh,
do you like it? Yeah, I didn't really get an answer. I mean,
he is
you said
sneaky.
that,
He
but no,
he
no, no, no,
he is
no, no,
sneaky athletic.
no, 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 no. But like, does like looking at his frame,
Oh
like I
no,
say,
it
does it
kind of
look it? I just look at it and I'm like, that doesn't look good. Like, I don't
yes.
like you getting tackled at all.
Yes, it kind of terrifies me, but it'd be his athleticism would be good to use in red zone situations where it's like they aren't going to expect us to run like a naked bootleg here or an option here, and he could just walk in untouched.
Yeah,
That's the
more teams need to run naked bootlegs. Can we just add that to the
mhm.
discussion for every
Trevor
NFL team?
Lawrence will be a Hall of Famer if Urban Meyer implements more naked bootlegs into the Jags playbook.
Really? I mean, they're the
Uh,
quarterback. They could just throw the ball away if it's really looking nasty.
yeah. Uh, but in your aspect of or your definition of potential of guys being elite in something, uh, he's not real. He's probably half a point away from being elite in something. Like his arm
Yeah,
strength is
no,
good.
definitely not the athleticism area. His arm
No,
strength,
no, no,
yeah,
no, not
yeah.
not in the
No,
not in the athleticism area. Half a point in his arm
yeah, I'll give you that.
from
I'll give you that.
from being elite because there are times where he puts the ball on a rope to a guy, and then there's other times where it's like I could use a little bit more here. So
I
if
wonder
he
though.
cleans,
Uh,
hmm,
I wonder though if this comes back to the discussion we've been having so much about him already. Sorry, but what if he did bulk up? If he bulks up, does his arm strength that's like solid in our opinion now, does it is it able to go up to that elite tier? Does that actually help it? I don't know because I mean I would like to think that it could, but at the same time, it's definitely like we see guys with the strongest arms. I mean in baseball and football and whatever, it's not like it's required that they are that strong. So I don't know. It's something that I would like to see for him. I mean, first off, it would be nice so that we're just less worried about him getting injured. But then on top of that,
yes,
it could help the arm strength. We don't know
hmm,
if it guaranteed would, but it could, and I think it would be worth it
yeah,
to try to get him on like a program or something where he gains some weight, gains some
the
muscle.
the arm strength would be a nice side effect of getting him thicker so he's more durable.
Yeah.
That's how I would view it if I was someone on the Jaguars like training staff.
Well, yeah,
Having you
that's
put
exactly
weight
what I
on is
mean. Yeah.
going to help us longevity because you're not going to be getting hurt as much. And if you like turn that it well, he's going to turn into muscle. He's an athlete. Um, but turn that into muscle, then it builds upon your arm strength. And yeah, we're getting the best of both worlds there. So if that happens, that'd be great. But he's very slim. He's not awesome in either category. He just is coming in with a very high floor, and that I think is his biggest plus, and that's why he's going to go number one overall. Because if you're already starting very high, if you go even higher, then that's great because you have a higher jump off point than everyone else does. So
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know if we're saying like he's good. What if he comes out and he plays like crap though? Like what if he's just like awful? Like we're all expecting it to be like,
well, they have
well,
C.J. Beathard.
we're no, but I mean really, this is like something that no one's thinking about at all. It's just that we're all sitting here like, oh, okay, there's absolutely no way that he comes out and is just atrocious because, well, he's already played at a certain level in college. I mean, there is the potential that he comes out terribly. And
Mhm.
it's just not something that anybody really thinks about. I mean, any of these
Yeah.
guys could, but for some reason with Trevor Lawrence
It just
specifically, it's
yes.
just
It
like
seems like it's.
we're not even giving it a thought. Uh,
Hmm.
I think I'm not saying that it's likely, but I think I would be a lot less shocked if he had a little bit of some struggles earlier than other people would be that think he's just so guaranteed coming
Yeah,
out.
people are freaking out kind of now because he said in an interview that he doesn't have a chip on his shoulder. And I don't blame him for saying that. He shouldn't. If he said he had a chip on his shoulder, I'd think he's a tool. You can't be the number one recruit in the nation, go to Clemson, win a national championship, be touted as the number one overall pick for your 3 years in college, and then be drafted number one overall and say, I got a
Man,
chip on my shoulder.
I'm just the other thing I'm trying to think about here is like him. I mean, him. You could probably make this argument for him and Mac Jones, but like, how much does having like a really mediocre quarterback change Clemson or Alabama at this point? Does it? It doesn't change it significantly.
If you have a guy to get the balls to the playmakers, they're going to win games.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, well, I'll tell you why I think Mac Jones is good, even with that thought being what we just said.
Hmm.
Um, so Mac Jones is my number one. If you didn't know yet,
Matthew McCorkle Jones.
he plays for that school, Alabama. Yeah,
Oh, the Tide?
I, yeah, I think,
Elephants, right?
yeah, I think something like that. I think he has the best velocity out of every quarterback in the draft, just generally. I talked about like specific situations for Justin Fields, but just overall, his ball velocity is tremendous. His body and play style make him unlikely to get injured. That's the other thing I didn't mention is not only are we talking about his actual body size and like if he were taking more hits, but his play style means that he's taking less hits than these other guys too, which I don't know. There's something to be said for staying on the field to actually be able to play well. It's kind of hard to play well if you're not on the field ever. That would make it slightly more challenging. His pocket maneuvering is magnificent, which is what you already said. Then basically the last comparison here I have for him at least is that Zach Wilson was always, as I said already. This is just a point I already said, so it's just
We got to root it back to Zach Wilson
yeah,
somehow.
yeah. It's not really about him. It's just like the same concept. So I want to yeah, that's how I wanted to connect it. Zach Wilson was always missing these throws by multiple feet, short or long. I talked about having the receivers having to extend their arms and or come back to the ball in certain situations. Well, then we look at Mac Jones, and Zach Wilson's missing by a foot, 2 feet in whatever direction from the receiver, like not staying on target. Mac Jones is literally hitting every single throw he makes, pinpoint accurate, exactly where it should be. And I don't think I, I hate putting too much stock into records, but I mean, geez, highest completion percentage in NCAA history is kind of something incredible. And even if you're throwing to the best of the best, if you don't put the ball on target, that can't happen. That's insane how incredible that was. And I mean, definitely with him, unlike maybe Lance or Wilson, you cannot make any argument about the competition he played. There's no argument to be made about the competition he played because he's going up against the best of the best while he's at
Hmm.
Bama. So there's nothing to be said there. And I'm yeah, I just think he's the best. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue on that. It's going to be a losing battle for me to try to convince you that the guy that you love is not the number one overall. So, uh, and number one for me, Justin Fields out of the Ohio
Well,
State.
remember, I am still much happier to hear you say that Justin Fields is your number one. And the fact, well, listen, you've completely thrown me off my wheels tonight because, like I said, I thought you were going to have Lawrence number one. So the fact that you're willing to actually recognize the potential of Justin Fields and put him number one makes me happy. The other thing is that I thought you were going to kill Mac Jones, two, and you didn't kill him. You put him at three, so I'm not mad about that either. So I mean, I'm really just happily surprised with everything you did. I'm not going to be mad at you either.
So what do you think I was gonna do? Zach
Uh
Wilson at 15, Mac Jones at 10,
no,
Trey Lance 1 because I like him the
I
most.
was thinking probably you'd go something like Trevor Lawrence, then Trey Lance probably, then Justin Fields, Mac Jones about all the way down at slot number 10 just so that he is on your top 10, and then probably
Davis
throw
Mills at 4.
throw yeah, and then Zach Wilson is up at I watched 47 guys tape, and I put Zach Wilson at 46. He's just ahead of the kicker from Boston College who had one pass attempt that was incomplete.
I watched every single player that took a snapback quarterback last season, and Zach Wilson is not better than any of them. No, Justin Fields, he just shows that he has elite attributes in both aspects of a quarterback, in his legs and in his arm. Uh, Very, 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 very similar to he's a more powerful Russell Wilson. Is if I had to come up with a comp for him, but he throws, and I say Russell Wilson because he throws those rainbow balls that Russell Wilson throws perfectly. Just he does the same exact thing. He launches it into the stratosphere and it comes back down right into the guy's breadbasket. Uh,
Except for
yeah,
sometimes they've got a heck of a lot more heat than Russell Wilson's do.
yes, yes, and that is something that you gotta love. He dude just has an absolute cannon. Um, he is the most athletic quarterback in this draft, unless there's some quarterback that I didn't watch that's at like
The guy from Brigham Young?
no, yeah, no, unless there's some quarterback from like maybe the Air Force quarterback. Maybe he's more athletic than
Oh
him.
yes.
I don't know. But some guy that's going to, if he plays in the NFL, they're going to make him play wide receiver. He's the most athletic quarterback. His throw on the run is awesome. He makes plays in the pocket, outside the pocket. Everyone's saying that he just throws to his first read. That couldn't be further from the truth. He's looking all over the field. Uh, he's just making great reads all the time. Downfield blocking, insane, and you want that in a quarterback. I, so, I yeah, he's just a tough guy that wants to win games. You could tell that in everything that he does. He's putting his body on the line every single time to get his teammates to score, and that's amplified in him running 70 yards down the field to lead block for his running back. So,
As I said, I think Friday. I'm pretty sure I said this at least. Whenever you get in the conversation of quarterbacks and your name comes up with names like David Garrard and Achilles Smith, you know you're in for a treat.
not a bad thing.
Nah, Justin Fields. Yes. Yes. Those are my two guys. Those are my two guys.
I,
Those two guys. Those two guys I like a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot.
mhm.
The other guys, honestly, to be fair, even though I ranked Zach Wilson lower than Trevor Lawrence or Trey Lance, I would be more interested to have Zach Wilson on my team than those two guys. However, Mac Jones or Justin Fields, way more interested than any of those other top five guys. Like, way more interested. I'm way more excited about their potential than Lawrence, Lance, or Wilson, really.
What would interested be for Wilson? Just interested because I'm staying up late
Well,
at night hoping,
no.
like, I hope this kid does something so I don't lose my job.
Like I still think the I do think that the potential's insane. I don't think it's close to
It's not number 2 overall
to
pick.
I don't think no. I don't think it's, like I said, the thing that's holding him back is the fact that the potential isn't isn't those high tier rankings of the potential doesn't mean that he could ever get up to the Allen Mahomes tier in arm strength, and he could never get up to the Jackson Vick tier of run game ability. So that's the initial part that drops him out of like the top two discussion with Mac Jones and Justin Fields. then from there, the thing is that makes him drop down from 3 to 5 is that it's just it's almost like everything he's doing on the field is like he's playing backyard football as a 10-year-old. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, dude, we have to start from such we have to go so basic with this guy here because I don't think he's gonna know like anything, like
Yeah.
literally anything. Um, but I still think the potential is higher than Lance or Lawrence. I just think that he's very far behind uh, in terms of the exact place he is now at this moment. I think he's way
Mm-hmm.
far behind.
Yeah, it's just tough because the only spot where you can really hope that he's elite, because he doesn't show that he can be elite with his arm or with his legs. Really, he's higher end
Yeah.
with those. So you got to hope that in between his ears is where he's elite, and with the decisions that he's making and the risk evaluation that he goes through with
I
some
don't
of his throws, it's like
I don't think that he needs to be elite. I actually just think that he needs to be mediocre in his
no, I'm
decision
saying if
making
you're hoping for
and
him to
then
be elite in anything, you'd be hoping for his brain to be the most elite part because he hasn't shown that he can be elite with his arms or his legs. So you're hoping that it's his brain,
so
but he hasn't shown that he can be elite with it. I haven't seen his what's it called? Um the test.
oh,
What's it?
I don't know. I don't care about that though.
I haven't.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I mean, you can not care anything about like schooling at all and still be the most invested person in football ever.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I know.
uh, no, but no. Okay, so here's the best way of saying it. If that Allen Mahomes level arm strength is like 98th percentile, and then Vic Lamar running ability at the quarterback position is 98th percentile, and then you have it's even probably 99th percentile. Then you have Zach Wilson's abilities.
In the
He's
100th
probably
percentile.
no, he's probably at like the 85th percentile for arm strength and for running ability. Like in terms of NFL history, maybe nowadays like he would just be like 75th percentile for running ability since so many quarterbacks are becoming athletic. Um, but just those combo of those two things, it's like those potentials are there. They're just not extreme potentials. They're just fairly solid potentials. And then yeah, the other point of it is getting the decision making and mechanics to be just even middle of the road. I think he could be a
Hmm.
solid QB then. But like I said, I think that those things, being mechanics and decision making, are probably below the 20th percentile for
Yeah,
NFL quarterbacks.
yeah. He, I just think a lot has to go right for him in New York for him to prosper because
They
New York
need to
is
coach him very well.
yes, New York is just where quarterbacks go to die. So
I hate saying that. Like, I'm not saying I could tell him what he needs to fix or stuff necessarily, like
no,
how to do your footwork.
it,
I hate making that argument of like you need to coach someone well because it's like I don't necessarily know how to
yeah,
coach,
I don't know what to do, so
but
I don't know how to tell
but
Robert Saleh to
I
do
can
it.
tell you that when I'm watching him, the issues are not the arm strength or athletic
Yeah,
ability. It's
you could
purely
just
mind and like what is like it's just some weird
yeah,
throwing
you could
motion or off balance. Like yeah, no, that's just
you could just
BS.
tell that his coach like they won. I don't remember. Maybe he's been a starter his whole time, but just the moment he got in, it's like everyone has had this moment where the coach doesn't want you to do something. They keep saying no, 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 and then you score off of it, and they go yes, yes.
He
I feel like that's exactly what his coach was like. It's just no, Zach, don't.
okay.
Oh well, we're winning games, so
You may not know this. This is something that I heard from Florio and maybe Peter King. They go in to they go from the 2019 season into 2020. Uh, Wilson is the starter in 2019. They go into the off season for 2020. We have no idea who our quarterback is. We like he just played every game of the 2019 season. Yeah, they're like we don't know who's starting at quarterback. Then he had to like go all the way up to game time for the 2020 season and win the job again, even though he had it last year, and obviously performed well this year. But just the idea that they didn't know whether or not he was even going to be the starter for BYU this year, that's like, wow, there are still some very large question marks there that should arise.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Is that everything?
I think I know who the thumbnail's going to be for this video
I have
or
no idea.
episode.
Oh, have we not used a I hope we haven't used a BYU player yet. I mean, who else would we have done? Yeah, you're right. You all set?
Uh, yeah, man, I think we could cut it here.